The NASCAR Cup Series championship cutoff race at Martinsville Speedway was once again a chaotic and dramatic affair, as defending champion Ryan Blaney secured his spot in the championship 4 with a thrilling victory. However, the real story of the day unfolded behind Blaney as the battle for the final playoff spot came down to a controversial decision by NASCAR that left Christopher Bell absolutely devastated. Ryan Blaney, the Team Penske Ford driver and defending Cup Series champion, was the class of the field in the closing laps of the Xfinity 500 at Martinsville. The 32-year-old found himself in a three-way fight for the win with Hendrick Motorsports teammates Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott. Blaney admitted after the race, "I'm worn out. I've got nothing left. It was a good battle and this car hung on longer than most, and I could really make some ground."
Go back-to-back next week.
You were 3 seconds behind and not happy with how that restart came off there, Ryan. How in the world did you make that happen? I mean, was that one of the more determined drives of your career?
Yeah, I'm worn out. I got nothing left. Oh my God, I'm tired. So, good battle, and yeah, just the car hung on longer than most, and could really make some.
Blaney, who was looking to become the first driver in the knockout format era to win back-to-back championships, managed to storm past both Larson and Elliott in the final 15 laps to claim his third victory of the 2024 season. The win secured Blaney's spot in the Championship 4, where he will once again have a shot at the title. Blaney said, "To have another shot at the championship is really special. Hopefully we can carry that momentum that we had last year winning this race on to next week as well."
And to have another shot at championship is really special. So appreciate Discount Tire, Menards, Ford, everything for what they do, and try to go back-to-back next week.
The controversial final playoff spot. While Blaney was celebrating his victory, the real drama was unfolding behind him as William Byron and Christopher Bell battled for the final spot in the Championship 4. Bell, driving for Joe Gibbs Racing, had passed Bubba Wallace on the final lap in a move that was reminiscent of Ross Chastain's infamous Hail Melon maneuver from 2022. Bell went hard into the final turn, slid up the track, and ended up riding the wall all the way to the finish line. A downhearted Bell told NBC Sports' Dave Burns, "I don't know what to say. I understand the rule is made to prevent people from riding the wall, but my move was completely different than Ross riding the wall. I got loose getting into the corner and slid right into the fence." NASCAR, however, deemed Bell's move to be a safety violation, which is strictly prohibited after the sanctioning body outlawed the Hail Melon tactic following the 2022 season. After a lengthy review, NASCAR penalized Bell, dropping him from 18th to 22nd in the final results and handing the final championship 4 spot to William Byron. Byron said, "He rode the wall and there's a clear rule against riding the wall. In my eyes, that's what counts. We all sat in meetings and talked about whether there should be a rule against it. His front tires were off the ground coming off turn 4 there, against the fence." The controversy didn't end there, as the closing laps of the race at Martinsville were filled with questionable team tactics and radio communications that raised eyebrows. In the final stages, as Byron was clinging to the final playoff spot, the Chevrolet drivers of Austin Dillon and Ross Chastain ran side by side behind him, seemingly blocking anyone from passing the Hendrick Motorsports driver. Radio chatter revealed that the teams were working off a premeditated plan to keep Byron in position, with Dillon's crew asking, "Does he know the deal?" and Chastain's crew responding, "Yeah, he should." Additionally, Bubba Wallace, the driver of the Toyota that Bell passed on the final lap, appeared to dramatically slow down, potentially allowing Bell to make the move that ultimately led to his disqualification. NASCAR Senior Vice President of Competition Elton Sawyer acknowledged that the sanctioning body would be reviewing these incidents further, saying,
"Or is it all? Or is that?"
Yeah, that's Jordan. We'll look at everything. You know, as I said earlier, we want to go back as we would have done anyway. We'll get back. We'll take all the data, video. We'll listen to in-car audio and look at video. We'll do all that.
For Christopher Bell, the harsh reality of NASCAR's decision was a devastating blow to his championship aspirations. The Joe Gibbs Racing driver had been eyeing his third consecutive appearance in the Championship 4, but now he'll be forced to watch the finale from the sidelines. Bell said, "It's a bummer, but in the grand scheme of things, there's a lot of things that we did poorly today that we could have done better within our control. The championship won't be one of them, but we'll try again next year." Despite the heartbreak, Bell remained composed in his post-race comments, acknowledging that he had made mistakes earlier in the day that put him in that precarious position. However, he firmly believed that his final lap move was not the same as Chastain's Hail Melon, and should not have been penalized. Bell explained, "I understand the rule is made to prevent people from riding the wall, but my move was completely different than what Ross's was. I got loose getting into the corner and slid right into the fence. I had no intention of riding the wall. That's, unfortunately, where I ended up trying to get all I could get." NASCAR's Elton Sawyer left little room for interpretation when it came to the decision to penalize Bell and remove him from the championship 4. The senior vice president of competition made it clear that the sanctioning body had no choice but to enforce the rule that was put in place after the Hail Melon incident in 2022. Sawyer said, "You go back to 2 years ago when we had the situation with Ross here. We went to Phoenix. There was a lot of dialogue with the drivers that that's not a move that we want to have to make on the last lap. In the off-season, we met with the industry, met with our drivers, and it was a move they didn't want to have to make. There was language in the rule book. When you look at it today, he clearly got up against the fence there in turns 3 and 4 and rode the fence all the way off 4, so it was pretty straightforward."
Yeah, Alex, if you go back a couple of years ago now when we had the situation with the one car on the last lap and riding the wall, we met with the industry, we met with the drivers, and everyone to a man decided that that was not something that we could tolerate. We didn't want that move to be accepted. We had language in the rule book. It is a safety violation, and when we saw the 20 car, that's exactly where we went. We looked at it.
Sawyer also made it clear that the penalty was not appealable, as it was considered an in-race violation, similar to an uncontrolled tire or too many men over the wall. This left Bell and the Joe Gibbs racing team with no recourse to contest the decision. Sawyer explained, "It's a race violation. Race violation, you don't protest them. It's not appealable, I should say. No different than an uncontrolled tire or too many men over the wall or anything like that."
Question. Joe Gibbs said that they couldn't protest. Is that true?
It's an in-race violation, and in-race violations are not, protest them. Or it's not appealable, I should say.
And
no different than an uncontrolled tire or too many men over the wall or anything like that.
The controversial decision to penalize Bell and hand the final championship 4 spot to William Byron left a bitter taste in the mouths of many, including Byron himself. Byron said, "I'm not happy for anything, but the rule is what it is for riding the wall. We'll go race. Just proud of my team. Really a hard-fought day overall. Proud of that." The Hendrick Motorsports driver expressed mixed emotions, acknowledging the disappointment of advancing in such a fashion, but ultimately understanding that NASCAR had no choice but to enforce the rules. Meanwhile, the Joe Gibbs racing team, including Bell's crew chief Adam Stevens, argued that their driver's move was fundamentally different from Chastain's Hail Melon and should not have been penalized. However, they were left with no recourse to challenge the decision. Stevens said, "If we're just talking about the decision, this situation is nothing like the situation of the one car. We attempted to make the corner. We passed the 23rd. We got into the marbles. He got into the fence after we passed the 23rd. We slowed down a full second from our previous lap. We weren't up there matting the gas and grabbing gears. It's just a different situation. It sucks that it's a judgment call and you can't appeal an in-race violation, but I just don't see anything that's even remotely close to what the one did that they outlawed." The fallout from this controversial decision is sure to linger as questions remain about the potential manipulation tactics employed by the Chevrolet teams and the rapid slowing of Bubba Wallace's Toyota. NASCAR has promised to investigate these matters further, but for now, the focus remains on the heartbreak felt by Christopher Bell and his Joe Gibbs racing squad. The 2024 NASCAR Cup Series Championship 4 is set, with Blaney, Logano, Reddick, and Byron set to battle it out for the title next weekend at Phoenix Raceway. But for Christopher Bell, the dream of a championship will have to wait another year, as he's left to ponder what could have been on that fateful day at Martinsville. Ryan Blaney's victory at Martinsville Speedway marked his second consecutive win at the Virginia Short Track, and it secured his spot in the Championship 4 alongside his Team Penske teammate Joey Logano. Blaney, the defending Cup Series champion, has now won 3 times this season and is looking to become the first driver to win back-to-back titles in the knockout format era. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to NASCAR Insider for more NASCAR insights.